and we'll try to see few of the like in a kind of embedding models, like what are the embedding models we have, like in terms of like while choosing the embedding model, and what basis we supposed to select, okay, which model will be the ideal solution for the specific use case in terms of healthcare or in terms of the finance domain industry or like in the semiconductor industry. So we need to see that, like if I utilizing this particular embedding model, like what kind of the inputs which I can pass it to here. Okay, so let's starting with the basic before we directly jump into the rack. So I just wanted to start with the GenAI base, like what is GenAI? See, because many of the industries were looking for the candidates who having the knowledge of the GenAI based, with the working on the RAG based solutions, and along with the lang chain and kind of various vector database, and with the embedding models and the re-ranking approaches. So all these the skills which will be come up through the GenAI based technologies only. So GenAI is not something new. The part of artificial intelligence, because if we go back to the few decades, like AI is started from the machine learning. That is the basic fundamental. Then it is we have went with the deep learning, then follow with the transformers, and from the transformers in the 2022 we were seeing the GenAI based technologies, right? And now we are seeing with the agentic AI based frameworks as well, like multi-agent systems and model context protocols, okay, and quantization, the AI techniques. So these are all the kind of various the technologies which are coming into the market, and where industries are adapting the new technologies, like to make them the AI to be more robust and more advanced based their AI systems. Okay, so if we talk about the Gen A is something, it's like we see in the day to day our the mobile applications as well, like in Chat GPT, or like when we open the Chrome nowadays, like where it is giving of the chatbot system platform as a Gemini, as we see here in the Ask Gemini. So where you can interact with the chatbot system, the Gemini based system, where it will give you the n number of informations, like to the space any type of question, right? Like what we do general searching, where you are going to do in the intelligent based searching in the Gemini based approach. And even we can have a Chat GPTs and Microsoft Copilot, and there are Bingy Search. Okay, there are multiple the systems which are available in the market, and every day we are utilizing the sources as well. So all this developed through the GenAI based technology only. So GenAI is something where you can where you can simply provide you some instructions. Like instruction is nothing but the input. So for example, I'm looking for a name. Oh, I'm looking for a name. The information of the Python, or the information of the nationality. So the information of the various cards. So where it will do the searching, and it will summarize based on your input requirement. May in the input request you might be add like I want top 5 cars, okay, from the range of the horsepower which is having more than 2000, and with the specific of some kind of sports models or some kind of inputs when we give. So based on these inputs, so which will segregate, and it will give you the relevant informations which user can able to quickly take some decision on that, right? So it's all possible with the summarization of the information which is in a ready to take up, and where we can take up the necessary steps. So it's not only the text information. Even if you wanted to create some images, like and I want to create some image with the base of the cat, or with the base of the some poster which you wanted to post for your business market, instead of like in earlier days where we are sitting with the like in digital the photograph engineers, and where they are going to develop all this the posters, and the SEO experts which are helping us to develop these posters, and we are marketing nowadays, where you can sit in, where you can sit, and where you can by providing the simply prompt, where it will be generate all these images. It's not only the generic. Even if we talk about the industry perspective, in earlier days when we are working with the organization, so to get some information, okay, to get some information, we need to coordinate with the multiple different departments within the organization. It's a very difficulty, where we wanted to be get the information it takes for the days, and we need to get a approval and a lot of like and we for the primary info the primary the issue is that identifying the right resources within the company, within the organization, it's a very difficult nowadays. Like every organization, they are making an internal chatbot system where helping for their internal the employees for them to get all the information in a centralized platform. So just think how the GenAI is making the industry to be more easier, where within informations where they can able to get by sitting on their the desk itself. That's the beauty of the GenAI. Okay, so it's not only for the chat GPT or the Microsoft Bing which we are seeing, but within the organization, the GenAI is kind of powerful, which is helping many of the employees within the organization to get the information, and where they are able to finish their task on time without like spending more time onto the identifying the peoples. Okay, so and one such, so to develop all this the platforms, we required some kind of the informations, some kind of the system. So the system is nothing but the gpts here. That's we call as a gpt. It's like in version gpt-2, gpt 3.3, 3.5, and 4, 5, now 5.1, like in a mini. There are multiple 5.2 which is are coming up, and even if you go with the anthropic cloud and 3.5 haiku and 4.5 and nova. There are multiple models which are available in the market. So we need to choose the right model for the business use case, because few models will only support for the input text information. If what if case, if as an industry point of view, we are attaching some drawing, okay, attaching some industrial drawing where we wanted to get the some insight information. So then consider if you are passing a multiple input the system. So the system should identify, system should accept the both input values. So it should process accordingly as per the user request. Okay, so for that, we need to choose the right models as well, right, where the llm models will accept the input as a text, input as an image, or input as a video, input as an the audio. So we need to see that like in which model to be ideally choose for that when we are building a multimodal AI system. Okay, and one such models you can see that here, the DALI is one of the famous model where it will help us to generate the images based on the simple natural language queries. And even we have the mid journey, also similar kind of the platform which will help us to generate the various images as you see in the right side of the page. And if you follow with that, the capability of the GenAI, as I given you the information, is that not only the text generation, it is also create the image creation, and it is also generate the audio and video synthesis. Like in a if I talk about one such video synthesis system, you can see the Lyrebird. Okay, Lyrebird is a one of the best AI system. Okay, which will mimic your voice in the with the kind of the 60 seconds of your voice. So this is Lyrebird as an AI system which is specifically used in the healthcare also. So just you guys can try. Okay, that is the best example I can give you for the generated video synthetic tool as well. And if we go with the business use cases, as everyone knows, it's not only for the specific the use case. It's all about for developing R&D activities within the organization for the life sciences to the various the complex data to analyze, and in the healthcare and the marketing and advertising, and creating the various designs, also developing your own websites and apps products. This is all in the all use cases which is we can able to develop with the GenAI technology. And these are the popular GenAI based applications, as I mentioned, like ChatGPT, Google Bard, Jasper, Microsoft Bing, the Stable Diffusion. So all we can see that these are the different organization, they launched their own AI application, GenAI based application to provide their customers. And to develop all this like in the system. So we need a some kind of the models which is required to develop, right? So few such models we see the langchain. Langchain is the great framework which is specifically designed for to develop the RAG based applications. So which is having a capability to connect with the multiple cloud system as such as Amazon Web Services or Azure AI platforms or GCP. Okay, with the LangChain framework where we can connect with the by just passing the APIs simply, and you can able to read the all the various LLM models. That's the beauty of the LangChain. And if you wanted to go specifically to the Amazon based services, you have the Boto 3 package. So Boto 3 is it is helping us to connect the Amazon cloud system with the programmatical level. So where you can simply create a client and you can provide the service as a bedrock, because Bedrock is one such service where you will have the all the foundation models. Like we have multiple services as such. We know that Amazon Lambda we have, and ECS and EKS, and we have the Amazon REST APIs. So there are plenty of services which are available. So we will see that which services will be suitable for us, and we can simply pass those service name, and you can able to interact with that. So this is how simply we can do that. And Azure AI platform also simply as a OpenAI, you can go with that, or LangChain from their input OpenAI, you also we can implement. And if you wanted to open source, we can go with the Hugging Face or the transformer based approaches also. That is also will be more easy if you wanted to explore more into the open source based model like in a Mistral or like in a Llamas, where you can try to do that also. So this is something about the frameworks which will really need for who are wanted to develop any RAG application. So they need to know the knowledge of this LangChain and other frameworks too. And if I talk about the models, the AI models. So these are few such models which I've added, and which we can see here. GPT-4 and you can see the service provider also, and we will be having a token limit also. You can see that. That means like in a you have hundreds thousands of words. Okay, so but these LLM models are not capable of that. Accept the inputs in the earlier days. Now few such models like in GPT-5, which is having a context like length of 1 million tokens, which will accepts. Okay, so there are few models such as GPT-4 which will accept as a 32K only, and GPT-4 Turbo which is having a 128K context input token limits which you can pass it. And these are the output tokens also which you can see like in 4096 and 8192. Okay, all these are the various LLM models, large language models. Okay, so like in the way we do in the chat GPT, right? So it will be provide you to choose the kind of LLM models. So which will every LLM model have their own knowledge base. So what the knowledge base. So based on that, the LLM will respond to the particular user query here. And these are the some such models also from the Anthropic side and Amazon side, and Titan embeddings, which you can see that. So Titan embedding we is such the version 1 and version 2 we have in the model, which will help us to convert the textical text into the numerical representation, because system only know the numerical values, right? So for that we have to store into the Titan embeddings in the embedding formats. And similarly, we have text embedding RS002, text embedding RS small and large as well. So this is about the few models, and another one is for the vector database as well. So vector databases is something because there are multiple vector databases in the market. So it's all about the requirement. So when you're working with a smaller database, like in a smaller knowledge base, you can go with the Chroma. When we're dealing with the larger the knowledge base, I ideally suggest you to go with the Firesys or the Azure ASH or Azure Amazon OpenSearch. And if you are having a millions of the data, where you have to do the parallel based solution of Milvus, Quadrant. So these are the popular vector databases which will help us to user to retrieve the user to search the parallel queries. Okay, in terms of to retrieving the relevant information. So it's all about we to choose which vector database is the ideal purpose of our solution. So based on that, we can decide and we can go. And this is our the rack which we are looking into that, because before we are coming to this slide, we need to know the basic concepts of the LLMs and what kind of the frameworks we use or the models we use, like what are the foundation models are available in the market, and the service provider to service provider which we need to identify. So now many of them organization, the people will talk to them uh, about the RAG, right? So even in the interviews also we hear like the RAG. So do you have any experience into the RAG? So what type of the RAG solution you have implemented, and could you walk me through the end to end from the knowledge base creation to the deployment part? So this is something which we are going to do in the real time data, which is one kind of the document which I've taken that is completely unstructured data. Okay, so here before we jumping into that, the RAG is what is RAG? So RAG is something where we retrieve the information from the specific knowledge base. Then we use the augmented. We'll combine the user query and the retriever context. Then we'll pass it to the generator. Generator is something LLMs, that is large language models, where LLM will decide the answer based on the prompt templates. What is prompt template? Prompt template is something which you are which is in a kind of capability of your LLMs. Like in a you are developing for some assistant, like in the assistant will work for the specific job. So like in a kind of you are in a AI assistant system, you are in a pharmacovigilance expert, or you are in a banking domain expert. You have to provide me the answer with the provided context and information only by looking into the user sample. So these are the kind of the response which need to be provided. So this is a something kind of the prompt template which you are going to feed to the LLM. So that's where the bot will have a, some specific the intelligent system. I can say that. Otherwise, so what will happen? It will be because this LLMs is learned in the generic data. Okay, so when we won't define a clear instruction, so the prompt will give you the different answers, so which will not helpful for the user expecting answer. So that's where we see that like in each these particular models are not working as expectedly, but we have to make them the system to be more the domain specific, which are like in a, which is the use cases which we are looking into that. That's where the prompt template will comes here. So this is the overall of the RAG. Okay, the where we retrieve the documents, we retrieve the context from the knowledge base, that is vector database. Then we have the augmented, that is something we are going to combine the user query with the knowledge base, and the generation will be provide you the specific solution, specific summary information. Because from the context, from the retrieval side, we will be having a 10 pages of document. So the 10 pages document will user will won't focus on that, where user will want a short and crispy specified answer, which will help us to take up the decision. That's the generator will do the help us to human to take up the decision. Okay, let's we'll jump into the coding part, so that we can see that these are some of the applications where we'll having the user input and the query processing, retrieval, and contextualization. Then we use the generation, and then we'll do the post processing and user interaction. So let's jump into the process. So let me stop, and let me take you to the window. Yeah, before we jump into the data, list, I wanted to show you what we are trying to do. Okay, so we are now we are going to develop a chatbot system. Okay, this is for the internal organization you can consider. So, for example, you have the manufacturing document. Okay, so in the manufacturing documents, like a name. within the organization there will be the manufacturing plant. Okay, where they are developing all the set of the microprocessors or microcontrollers or some kind of specific drugs. So now when the team wanted to test how these drugs or how kind of like this the process or the controllers are working as effectively. Okay, so here is the test case plan. So for in earlier days, for every components there are a lot of testing system, like a lot of testing steps which need to be performed by the various testing engineers. Now even like they will be having the queries. When they have the queries of the particular test scenario steps, what they need to do, they need to reach out to the some senior experts, and where they will get some ideal solution for them, what to be decision can be taken up based on the test cases which they performed by the test engineer. Now we wanted to build some kind of intelligence system, so it will help us if the user is providing some kind of test case scenarios. Okay, what type of the test steps which has to be followed by the testing engineer. Okay, so just imagine if instead of giving off some specific trainings or giving off the kind of information, if you set up a kind of the chatbot system or intelligence system where system will help us to the engineer. Okay, so when you are looking into this specific the specific document, so what kind of like the test steps which you need to be performed, and if you observe if it is in a failure cases, like in a okay, for this failure cases, what could be the possibility test cases which can be performed. Okay, if there is any failures, there is a zero failures. Okay, then what could be the other test scenarios which we can go with that. Okay, so these are the various kind of the information which will be provided to the user. Okay, now this is our knowledge base. Consider this is our knowledge base system. So we will be having a PDF document, because as we wanted to create a chatbot system, it is not like in a simple straightforward, right? First we need to create the knowledge base system. That means from the manufacturing infrastructure, we have to collect the document which we wanted to be provide to the users. Okay, it's kind of docx document, word document, PDF document, or PPT document, or non-readable document. That means scan based document, or it might be the structured databases also. So you wanted to collect the data from the various formats. That's where the first is the data ingestion part. Okay, so this is the input document. You consider this is a one type of the data format here. So let me share you the code so that we can walk through step by step. So whenever we build the any document, okay, first the steps is we have to focus on the knowledge base. So if you wanted to build the RAG based system, first we need to begin with the knowledge base only. So for the knowledge base, like there are the few steps which we need to be followed. So even for the RAG also, I will say the same. So one is loading documents. Okay, loading documents, or data ingestion also we can say that. Either it is a PDF or xlx or excel, okay, or csv, text, powerpoint, ppt. Okay, any kind of data which will be presented in the sources. So we need to see based on the input documents, we need to create our custom Python functionality to load this PDF document, xlx and tx, Word, DocX, and PowerPoint, and PPT access. Okay, so this is a step one, and step two will be we are going to, once what we do, once we load the document, then we are going to do the process the document. That means tokenization and embedding and indexing and splitting the chunks. Okay, tokenization and creating the chunks. Okay, all these steps will comes under the processing document. And you even you can consider the converting the embedding also. Then we have to store the vector database. Okay, so whatever we are doing the embeddings, we stored into the vector database. That's we call as a knowledge base also, because when the users will provide a query, so instead of searching the information in the generic, we are specifying to you need to look into the specific this vector database only and this database only, so that user will get a right answer. That's where we are giving up the vector databases here. And next is a step 4, retriever. Okay, so or else user ask questions. So where like a user will ask like what is the failure rate of the products. Okay, so when the user will ask, so what will happen, we will be having a step 6, step 5, retrieval document. So what it do, based on the user query, it will convert the embeddings, then it will retrieve the relevant documents from the vector databases with the help of semantic similarity or keyword based searching. Okay, we call as a hybrid based searching as well, or BM25. That is nothing but the keyword based search. Why I will tell that keyword based search is important. See, when sometimes in the specific use cases, the user will provide the product name. For example, I have the product name called the BKM 000101. Okay, so who is the owner for this BKM? So when I give the specific BKM, then it should be look for the specific owner within that data, and it should be provide the results. So that's where keyword based searching will be ideally the helpful when we do into the specific the keyword based searching also. So and step 6 is generating the answer, okay, or sending to the LLM, or you can say that. And step 7 is the final answer over there. Okay, these are the 7 steps which we generally follow, okay, for developing any RAG based solution. Now let's go for focusing only the knowledge base. Okay, how to create the knowledge base? So as I mentioned, for to create the knowledge base, we require the first I'll show you the basic the system. Then I'll show you the knowledge base and the RAG based solution for the specific testing document. So for the first, the approach is importing the libraries. So we have the LangChain as I mentioned, because LangChain is specifically designed for the implementing the RAG based solution. So and pandas is some the packages which will help us to read the Excel files, CSV files, JSON files, any kind of files which will be we can read simply with the pandas package. So I am importing my packages. I hope everyone knows how to install packages in case of you encounter the issue of module not found error. Simply pip space install. Okay, package name. This is how we do that. Okay, but already the packages is installed. That's why we are saying all libraries imported successfully. If packages are not imported, we would have encountered the issue. Now I'm creating a specific, the embedding models and everything. These are the embedding models which I'm utilizing for the uh, converting the text to the numerical values. Now, okay, so I've just loaded my configuration here. Yes, Nikisha Rao. Keyword search directly won't work on the chunks here actually. Along with the chunks, we are going to add the metadata. I'll come for that, how to add the metadata also. So because it's not like, because it won't be helpful. Like, metadata is something which will be having the product, and along with some kind of BKM ID, who is the owner of this particular document. All these details, along with the chunks, you will be having a set of metadata also. Okay, I will share you the more details inside that. So now the step two is the configuration here. So where you can set the configuration. And step three is something, the loading the data. So for example, to demonstrate, I'm creating a some sample data here. So for example, I'm taking of some structured data here. You can consider structured data. This is something about the incorrect mapping of the vendor names here. So for example, consider in the scenario like in a where we are seeing the inconsistent format, like in a same company. For example, inconsistent format is something Maple Inc is there. Sometimes they write in the Apple itself. Okay, so where we are trying to see that where is there any inconsistency issues are presented in our database, or like in a we are trying to identify the we are trying to identify the right entity names, and we are trying to map that. Okay, so this is some sample data which I have taken. So you can see the supplier code, that is the unit number. Yeah, and supplier name and sourcing country. So these are the three samples which I have taken for my master data. Now we wanted to convert this because this is a master data. First step, we are creating the knowledge base. So first, for knowledge base, what we do, we will import the package, then we'll set up the configuration, then we will load the data. If it is in a Excel, we will load the data, and if it is in a SQL, we'll connect to the SQL services and we load the data. And if it is in some different format, we read from that specific package. Once we load the data, then we'll convert the data into the standard format, which will help, which will allows the vector database, because vector database only allows the data type format which is in the LangChain document. So we need to convert this document, because if you see here, the master data type of master DF, you can see that pandas data frame, so which won't allow directly. So we have to convert this into the specific data type format, like an convert convert data to the document type. Okay, yeah, and here we have converting the documents. So here you see that master data frame is the DF is the data frame which will have the sample records here. And so you will be converting as a each row which is in the document format as a dictionary of the document. So that's where the data format type we have taken the document, and inside the document the input parameter we are passing the page underscore content as a content here, and the metadata. So metadata we are passing here. So as a metadata, we are considering as a sourcing country. If we want, we can go with the more deeper, like in a sourcing city, sourcing specific address also, because same organization will be present into the different countries also. Like in Accenture, you can see it is in the India, it is in USA, it is in Europe, or it is in a Poland. Okay, now when you're looking into the specific geographical location based, you better to take up with the city level information also. That is also will be ideally helpful here. So now what I'm doing, so you have the 5 records. So I'm converting each record, like in each row, that is where I'm doing the for loop, iteration based. I wanted to read the row in a one at a time. So for that, I'm giving a for loop. So I'm reading all the content, and I'm storing into the document LangChain based document type, where which will the standard data type, which will allow us to store into the vector database. Okay, this is the format which will allows here. I see the comment Raja Question is, most companies not ready to spend money on the tokens to build the RAG application due to security concerns. Yes, even if the organization have the huge funds as well, just imagine you have to work on the millions of the data. Okay, in the healthcare and in the banking industry, there are the millions of clinical narratives which we need to process. So the management does not allow, the management never go with the LLMs. Instead of, you can go with the open source LLM, and you can fine tune. For that, we will give you the GPU based computing services, and you can create a custom domain specific. That's how the companies will motivate you to we go with the open source and to do that. But there are few use cases which can utilize this LLM models directly. Okay, so it is always as to choose, depends on the use case, whether it is in a the right approach, going with the LLM or going with the traditional based or going with the neural network based or going with the some other approach. Okay, it is all about taking of the decision by looking into the different perspective. Okay, the model capabilities, model token, model cost, and which service we are taking of them. Is there any other best models we have? Okay, what type of the POC which we are working, and what could be the value we are going to receive in a day or in a week or in a month. Okay, so there are the various the steps which need to be considered before we taking of any this implementation. Okay, so I'm not saying like in a the LLMs will be restricted by every organization. They will help you, but there are the use cases which is available, so for that they will choose that. Okay, choosing this LLM will be the right approach, and choosing with the traditional base is the right approach. Okay, so nothing to worry. But as an AI engineer, we have to be capable of all these the terminologies and technologies. Then only we would survive. Okay, then only we would help to the organization, and we will also be save our jobs. Otherwise, like in a the persons who is having only the traditional based and the person who does not have an journey, then the companies will fire out, right? So as an AI developer, you have to know from the beginning to the till now the technologies what are available in the market, and so which technology could be the right approach to choose in the right time. So here this is the document we have created. Now we have to initialize the embedding model. Okay, step fifth, because these are the chunks also we call, because this is a structured data, we are converting to the directly the information. So but in the unstructured data, we are going to use the various the platforms, like in a, the platforms will be available in the documents, like in a, available in the Azure Blob Storage or Amazon S3 bucket. Okay, so from there we read those PDF documents, and we apply, if it is a readable document, we apply PDF Plumber, PDF Miner. If not, we go with the Amazon Tesseract or Azure Doc Intelligence Service to convert the images text information into the readable text information. Okay, I'm going to show you that as well in the next 10 minutes. This particular the now we are doing as a basic beginner for how to do that for structural based information, and this is the same way we do for unstructured also, but the data will be the different, but all the steps will be the similar. Yeah, this is the initializing the embedding model here. So here I am using the Azure Open Embeddings. As you can see, the text embedding order 002. Okay, there are multiple models, text embedding, small, large, and they have their own dimensions, shapes as well. 1536 and 3000 the place also. So here I'm using the Azure based embedding models. Okay, so let's test with the one such use actually. So I've given you the simple text information as a Microsoft corporation. You can see that I'm using the embedded query. So this text will be converted to the numerical information. And you can see that the vector length or vector dimension we call as a 1536. So these vectors will having the shape of 1536, that is a matrices, okay, which will capture the meaning of information of this particular test. So now creating the vector database, okay, step 7. So for creating the vector database, I'm using the Chroma. So there are, as I mentioned, multiple vector databases we are available, but I'm using the Chroma vector database. So this is also will you can directly do from the Langchain framework. Yeah, already the data is available. That's why it is not allowing you to remove. But what we can do, collection name as a 2, 2 KB is a 2. Okay, I'm creating the new vector database, which you can see. The vector database is created, which you can find it here. So let's the vector database is created. Now we'll verify the database. That step 8. So here you can see that I'm taking the test query as a Microsoft. Okay, here is my the retrieval part. As I mentioned, drag is retrievers, right? Uh, so retrieval augmented generation, which I mentioned. So this is the part of verifying the retriever part. Okay, here I'm using the similarity search. The similarity search is nothing but the cosine similarity I'm using. There are multiple the techniques which are available. MMR based technical is also available, and keyword based search is also available, but I'm using the similar as a cosine similarity here, and I'm giving the top k chunks, like in how many of the chunks which I wanted to retrieve, that is k equal to 3 I given, but you can give as a k equal to 5, 10, 15, 30, based on your requirement, based on the requirements of the use cases we can define that. So this is not a specific k number, it is all about trial and error only, I can say that, based on the until you find out the best number, best the chunks which you say that. Okay, here you can see that I'm searching. So these are the top three chunks which you can see that. For the Microsoft, in the top one itself, the Microsoft Corporation we have. Then we have followed with the Apple. Why Apple and other companies is coming? Because all the data which it will pull from the vector database. So we need to see that, okay, which are the, whether in the top 10 chunks which is our data is available or not. Okay. So this is about the retrievers, and if you want we can have one more, Google Inc also similarly we are doing that. So you can see these are the companies which are available, because Google is a tech company from the USA, but the system could not find actually, because it is looking into the other, because but the country wise if you see, the United States which is working on that, and Inc also, which is a part of one word which is matching. Okay, and if you wanted to do some kind of operation, okay, now the same company which will present it in the different geographical location, you wanted to have a filter based approach. So this is the query, you can do that country based filter. So what we can do, in the similarity search, in the retriever part, you have the input argument as a filter. You can pass country or city or specific the specific the key name, so that it will be helpful for you people. So this is a country based filter I'm doing, you can see that. So which are only United State, that particular data only will filtered, even though company is presented in the other part of geographical location. So with this filtering, which will be more helpful for the uh, user to look onto the specific the country level data. for him to take up the decision instead of looking into the geographical based data. Okay, so this is the something we have been doing the knowledge base. So this is the raw data and document, and then we are doing the embedding. Then we are storing into the vector database and fast the similarity steps. These are the knowledge base which we do all these steps. Let's deep dive into the specific solution as we see the document input document, right? So this is a document we have seen that. Okay, let's go to the actual knowledge base now. Will we create? Let me take a new file. So we will install all the packages which is required, but the packages are already installed. But just I'm showing you. So these are the such packages: LangChain, TextSplitter, Azure AI, Doc Intelligence, and Azure Core, Azure Identity, and ChromaDB, and Density, Request, and LangChain OpenAI. Okay, so already the packages installed, but we are trying to see that if anyone not installed. Now, as I wanted to say before the step is completed, as the part of demonstration, I've taken the document in the locally, but the real the kind of information, the documents will be presented in the cloud storages. So when we are working with the Azure platform, so we have the service called Azure Blob Storage. So all the data engineer the data engineer team where they push all their documents into the knowledge Azure blob storage or S3 buckets. So from there, as a data scientist, as a DS team, we will read the data from the cloud storages, and we do the indexing, or we do the creating the knowledge base. Okay, as a part of that, along with the document, you will be having some more fields as a called metadata. So kind of, as I mentioned, one of our the teammate also, so that's where the keyword based will be helpful. Parent name, parent file name, and what could be the citation, what could be the product name, what could be the BKM IDs, specific IDs are presented, and who was the owner, and when it is created. Okay, is there any additional information which is available? All the associated metadata can be added into the blob storage only. So we can read the metadata, and as a part of chunk, we can store there. So we have successfully imported the packages now installed, and now we are using of the packages we are importing here. As you can see here, uh, we are using the chunking because we are breaking the larger text into the smaller chunks. So for that, we are using the markdown header text splitter or recursive character text splitter, and we have a fixed level chunking and semantic based chunking as well. So it's all about the use case, like a name which you can decide by yourself by working by doing some kind of small POCs where you can decide that. And another part is vector database. I'm using the ChromaDB only, and OpenAI embeddings. I'm using the text embedding RS002 as a part of here. And one more here, the interesting part, you can see the Azure AI Doc Intelligence Service. Why this the service we are using? Because the input document which we are taking, which are most of the documents are the non-readable document. Consider if it is in a scan based PDF document. So even though text is presented, but you cannot copy, that is not a readable information. For we to extract the text from the non-readable document, we use services such as Tesseract services. I can say that if it is Amazon based, Amazon Tesseract we call. In Azure platform, we have the Doc Intelligence service. Okay, so we have successfully implemented, and this is something the configuration of Azure Doc Intelligence, and take model embeddings here, cognitive search. And these are the some of the pre-processing before we doing the chunking, that is making of removing all the unrelevant information from the text. That is a clean chunk test. And then we are generating the unique code also, that is the giving the chunk id, that 16 digits of the chunk id. And then we are we are extracting the section level patterns, like for example, as I shown you, there is a titles and there is a the paragraphs, so there is the text paragraphs. So we are trying to see that what could be the headers and what could be the paragraphs, or the what could be the text we have. So we are segregating into the section level and subsection level, because when the user is asking the specific section, this section will act as a metadata. So we can retrieve the specific information, specific header chunks, and we can show them to the users. This is the safe metadata, something data type format here. These are all the helper functions which we have loaded. Now the part is the PDF document extraction. This is how we make a connection to the doc intelligence services, which you can see. You can pass your endpoint and the credentials of your key, and it will read the PDF document. Then it will pass the bytes information into the uh, Azure Doc Intelligence Services. That is the client which we have connected to the doc services. It will begin the analyzed document. There are multiple services are available for form recognition, table based detection, or tiny based detection. So you can select based on the use case. And the output content format, which I'm looking for the markdown format. So it will comes as the markdown information. And these are the kind of some information which are copying. Along with that, you can add a additional metadata here, the information which you are fetching, like from the which page of the particular the chunk, and the position of the chunk. And along with that, you can add some of the paragraphs also, so you can get all this information, some width and height all together. So here you can see that now it is connected to the doc intelligence services, and it is reading the data. Yeah, you can see that all the text information which is generated here. Okay, so now once you receive the raw text here, so then we are going to convert the raw text into the meaningful chunks here. So for that, as I mentioned, markdown header text splitter which I'm using, and recursive character text splitter, which is the one which I'm using. Okay, so markdown header will help us you to identify the sections and subsections. So here I'm running, which you can see that this is the section names, and the follow with the chunks here. Okay, section is the Sabre 3D troubleshooting, subsection, and follow with it some kind of chunks here. Okay, next we are preparing the chunks with the metadata here. So we have run completely with the metadata here, which you can see, reading all together and combining, and this is how our chunks will be available. So you can add other additional metadata also, depends upon the requirement, but I have taken few metadata here, which you can see that chunk cache, use case, and the sheet name, and kind of chunk information content. Okay, you can have product also, one more column here, then we can do that. Okay, I'll take another 15 minutes thing, Lashmi Goka, so we can have a break actually. Yeah, so this is the embeddings, and you can see that once you read the text information, then we can convert to the embeddings, as I mentioned in the previous also. So you are using the Chroma DB and the Azure OpenAI embeddings here, and we are converting to the embeddings here, and we are storing into the Chroma vector database. So total 15 chunks is here available. As we see, as I'm showing you here, it's a basic document, that is a single document, very smaller document, but in the real time, you will be having hundreds of pages in the single PDF document. Okay, so this is how the system is created. Now, if you want to retrieve, you wanted to test your knowledge base. So troubleshooting is a word which you given. So this is the query. So where we are trying to search it. Okay. So you can see the top retriever chunks from the knowledge base here. This is the knowledge base creation. I will open the retriever quickly. Yes, Sharada, we have a limit because these vector databases, which is having a limit of 8,000 tokens only. So we can store into that 8,000. If it is more than that, the chunks will won't store into the vector database. And another issue is like when we have a larger chunks, it is very difficult to pick up the right information. So it will struggle for the LLM also to take up the decision. So having a smaller chunk size will be more helpful, and it will be the faster also for retrieving the relevant chunks. So now the knowledge base is completed. Let's have a RAG based system now. This is a part we are going to add the generator here. So the similarly we will import the same packages: ChromaDB, LangChain, and Azure AI Open Index, and Azure Chart Opening. As a part of LLM, I'm going to use GPT-4 here from the Azure AI services. So the packages are loading. Let me take the file. It is taking. It's loading the packages. Let allow me a moment. It's taking time to load this the system. So meanwhile, like any, I wanted to share a few more information, like any for in if we talk about the industry point of view, the documents which are into the SharePoints also we do the knowledge base. So SharePoints will be converted to the PDF documents, and so then from those PDF documents will be fed to the knowledge base, along with the conference pages also similarly, because we can directly connect to the conference page and we can read the data, but there is a couple of challenges we are facing. We also faced, then we have identified that because the API's mechanism which will fails here. So that's where we can convert to the uh, PDF based document, and we can do that. Okay. So this is model not found error. Let's install this package. Yeah, let's reload. We need to restart. So, let will keep this one for the moment side. Tools, these are not open source tools, Sabla Chowdhury, because I'm using the Azure AI services, which has to be paid based only. But you can have like a name, Mistral, which is open source, and Fin, which you can use in terms of the LLM. Instead of Azure AI Search, Azure Chat Opening, you can point to the LLM models also. Let me change the terminal. Let's import the packages once again with the Langchain OpenAI so that we can see. Uh, Sayada, in Java we won't use because the majority of all these frameworks which is developed in the Python programming language. So in Java we can use for the integration part because we can make a API and we can expose with the API level and we can give to the Java based applications where they can integrate our A based API so they can talk to with that our system. So let's go over here. Okay, let's see with the prompt templates. Now we have imported the package. So then we do have a configuration here. So here I'm using my configuration for the models. Now when we are implementing the RAG based solution, so first is something we have to load the our existing Chroma database. So here we have using the vector database as a Chroma, which we have created in the knowledge base, that is untitled 2. So we are loading the same vector database. You can see the 16 documents, that is the 16 chunks. Okay, Chroma DB is loaded successfully. We are not creating now knowledge base. We are connecting to the knowledge base to retrieve the data from there. Okay, so now second step is the same embedding model we need to use. The in the knowledge base, the embedding model which we have used, the same embedding model need to be utilized for the RAG based the pipeline also. So here we are using same text embedding ADA 002 only, as we can see that, and we are loading the Chroma DB. That is, we are now loading. We are not creating. We are loading the existing vector database now. With the Chroma, you can pass the collection name and embedders here. Simply, you can load that. Now, initializing the Azure OpenAI as a part of generative AI. So this is a part of generative AI which we are using here. Okay, GPT 3.5 I have taken, but I'll show you with the GPT 4.5 also. Prompt template is not defined. Okay, that is we have committed. Let me see. So there is a package issue which is coming up. Let me fix that. So here to verify that, what we can do, we can have a import langchain dr. So this is we are validating the library now, how it is there, the structure of the library. So see, the prompt is the one which is removed from this particular version. Let's degrade to our langchain package so that it will fix that issue. So we are degrading to the version, or like in greater than equal to 0.2.0 only we are using now, because here the prompt we are using, but here there is no prompt here, which you can see. Let's see for another 5 minutes, and I'll try to resolve. I'm just kidding. Yeah. Meanwhile, open up the. If anyone have a questions, please unmute yourself and you can talk to me. Meanwhile, I'll just resolve that so that we can use the time.
Please raise your hand if you have any queries so that we will try to clarify. And also, we'll be starting a new batch. If you're really interested for the 3 to 4 months of, complete end-to-end course plan, including theory, practical, end-to-end projects, all together, we are covering 100 plus hours with, economic cost. So please try to register. And even if you don't want, please try to have a one-to-one discussion. If you have any confusion in career switching or career upgrade, please try to register. We are happy to connect with you all. Yeah, so testing definitely. So our course is like a hybrid course, so it will help you testing data analytics, data, scientist, data analytical people, even coders, non-coders. So all kind of concepts covers as part of my 100 plus hours. So, so we'll be covering like part one and part two. Most of the part one is like creating a foundation with all the foundation concepts across all the tools, and from the other concepts like machine learning and deep learning and NLP, AI tools, LLMs, everything will be covered under part one, cloud AI services. Part two will be completely end-to-end projects and agentic frameworks. So both, I would say, like 100 plus hours. Part one, 50 plus hours. Part two, 52 hours. If you ask me, batch five, we almost cover 100 plus hours. Same thing will be repeated, but in a different approach with different concepts. Yeah, I mean, our approach is really getting success. I see like 14, 15 people got selected in last 1 year, including experience and OPT, STEM OPT people. We are not commercial. The price also very, very minimal, helps to everyone. It will be within $500. So please try to register. 100 plus hours. We also help you GitHub projects, level one, level two, level three. So once master is done, we will give a 5 minutes demo about our GitHub projects. Those will be give like three project one time. Once we complete, we'll give you another three projects. You can practice and book our appointment with mentors so that they can help you if you have any queries. Yeah, please fill the form. That's what I want, so that we can help you over the chart. We'll send you all the previous recordings. As part of this program, we will help you live projects involvement also, and we'll help you giving pre-recorded sessions around 100 plus hours. We'll help you GitHub project access.
As a part
Yeah,
of
we have a course
shortening.
plan we will share with you all so that we can look at that 14 weeks course plan. Venkatesh sir, can we
Yeah,
have
yeah,
5 minutes for demo on the course plan and all? Just like
yeah,
approve,
yeah.
go over.
Meanwhile, yeah, that can be taken
Yeah,
up.
I
I'll
think approve, please
resolve
go
that
on.
issue. Yes, yes, yes. Please. Yeah.
Yeah. I know there are many old students only, but this 5 minute session will help you for the new people. And whoever register over the demos, those will be get special discount and instead of you come offline because I want to this reduce my time. So that if you register, if you are really serious and if you are register for upgrading your career, so please register over the link so that I can help you on the discounts.
Thank you everyone for attending the boot camp today. The recorded sessions for all the boot camp sessions will be uploaded in our YouTube channel. Try to subscribe and follow the YouTube channel, our KKR Gen Ai Innovations YouTube channel. So you'll get all the information and updated videos on this particular page. So the previous bootcamp sessions from the day one to day four, like we have updated everything on the YouTube, and today's sessions is also being live streamed over the YouTube, and the recorded session will be given in the YouTube as well. And also try to follow the LinkedIn page, so you'll get all the next batch information and also the upcoming boot camps and everything, all the information regarding the AI stuff and everything will be posted here. And also you can see some of the job openings and everything will be posted by our team in this particular page. Try to follow both YouTube and LinkedIn, so you'll get the updated information about our trainings and also other bootcamp stuff. So this is our 14 weeks course plan that we teach. So try to register in the enrollment form. So the enrollment form or the registration form is already being published by our team in the chat. So fill out that form. We'll send you all the details with the course content and also with all the required links to your WhatsApp, and you can check it out over there with all the detailed information. So this is our course plan with the 14 weeks that we conduct, and we start with the foundations, and we start with the foundations of Python and the libraries that are required for the generative AI, and also with the machine learning concepts and deep learning concepts, and also with NLP. And then we go on to the generative AI with the LLM fine tuning, and also with the agentic AI frameworks, with the LangGraph, LangChain, Crew AI, and also cloud deployments. Like the cloud, we use Google Vertex AI, Amazon Bedrock, and some of the no-code tools for the product managers, project managers, and also for the business analyst. Everything is being covered with the within the 14 weeks course plan, and with the updated tools that are being published every day in the market. So we'll try to leverage them and teach them in our classes, and it will be beneficial for everyone, those who come from the testing or those who come from the project management, business analysts, from the different backgrounds. So definitely this course will help you out in getting the hands on, and you can start leveraging these sessions and implement the projects on your own. So once you are done with the 14 weeks course plan, simultaneously we give access to the GitHub projects with different levels which we have developed. So I've already shown this in the previous sessions, but for those who have joined recently for today's session, we'll be giving all the level one, two, three projects to everyone with the beginner level, intermediate level, and the advanced level projects. And also we have 10 more projects within the universal projects. So totally we have around 40 projects designed for you to practice, and for you to deploy them and get the hands-on experience, so that you can talk in the interviews, and also you can add them to your resumes and showcase your skills once you complete these projects. So the level one projects, like you'll be given access with the 10 projects, and for the beginner projects, anyone can start implementing these projects. Those who come from the different backgrounds, we have the step by step guidance given to you to how to implement these projects on your own. So this will be beneficial for those who are from the different backgrounds, like business analyst, product management, or if you are like switching from different careers. So definitely these level one projects will help you on how to, like, what are LLMs and how you can integrate, what are the APIs, and how you can take the API key and start implementing these projects. And also you'll get hands-on with the prompt engineering, and also with multimodal AI with API integration, and you'll get hands-on with the front end and back end along with the testing side. So this will be beneficial for you. Like we'll send all the information once you like register with the enrollment link, and you will be getting all this access. And also, like once you complete level one projects, then definitely you can go on to the level two intermediate projects. So where we have also designed 10 more projects with the advanced concepts like RAG pipeline, vector databases, agentic workflows, and also the some of the Notion AI tools and the ClickUp AI tools. And we have some of the N8N automation tools like N8N, Zapier, Make.com, how you can use them and leverage them. So definitely level 2 will be helpful once you complete the level 1. And we also have 10 more projects in this level 2, in this get level 2 GitHub repo. So you will be given that we can see here, like what is the business problem project problem objective, and also like what is the system architecture that you have, and the tech stack that you are working on, with the complete step by step implementation guidance. So this will be beneficial for you, so that you'll get the complete idea. And also the level 3 projects are the advanced projects. Once you complete level 1 and level 2, in the level 3 projects you will be working on different tech stacks, like um, what are land graph and advanced techniques, and also what is about crew AI, and also like fine tuning vector databases, cloud platforms, and how you can deploy them. Everything will be covered in the advanced level projects. So definitely this will be beneficial for you. So, and try to fill out your details in the registration form. So we'll try to reach out through WhatsApp or through email. So we'll send you all the course content and all the information, so that you'll get an idea about our approach. I think yeah, that should be it from my side. So if you have any queries, feel free to like post them in the chat, and our team will definitely help you out. And thank you, Venkatesh sir. You can go ahead with your
Yeah, thanks, April. Let me share my screen.
Thank you, Aparup and Venkatesh sir.
Yeah, so I have updated my package. You can see Langchain code prompts as a prompt template now. So it's working now. So as I mentioned in the RAG based pipeline, we have first four steps. We have imported the package, and then we follow with the configuration step two, and step three will be the loading the knowledge base as a vector database. Then fourth step is the connecting to the generators. That's where the LLM foundation models we have used here. And the fifth step is we are using the prompt template. As you can see, use the following piece of context to answer the question. At the end, if you don't have the answer, just say that you don't know. Don't try to make an answer. Always provide the page number or section information when available in the context as well. This is the context we are giving off to the LLM while to for deciding the answer, and for the question is the input here. You can see that. And the prompt template, we are constructing the input variable for the context and question. And I'm using the GPT-4 as I mentioned here, GPT-4 for that. And this is the retrieval component. So, so this is have created now retrieval component here. Now we will ask the user to question. So now if the user asking the question, you can see like, so what are the main troubleshooting steps mentioned in the document? So first what it do, it will retrieve the answer, that is the QA chain, and then it will be used for the LLM. So here you can see that it is trying to retrieve the documents from the QA chain. This is a function where you have implemented the retriever part and LLM part also as a similarity set, as I mentioned here. So you can see these are the test cases. Follow with this. What could be the ideal, the expected, the chunks. You can see that. Okay, so all these are the various informations from you can see that. So now you want to have the multiple questions if the user wanted to see. So here is the functional based the questions. So where you will be having a the user can request, so we can add it. So here multiple questions I'm asking here, as you can see. One question is what components are mentioned in the document, are there any safety precautions, and what tools are needed for the things. So three queries which I'm asking. Yeah. So here you can see that the question one, what components are mentioned. You can see that all the components, light process button, open, close, left maintenance, claim shell AC logic, and the flow meter, leak sensors, and all these component details which is provided by the LLMs. And next, are there any safety precautions? As the provided context does not explicitly mention any specific safety precautions, but the primarily focuses on the troubleshooting test failures and the test possible causes. Okay, so that means the data is not presented in the knowledge base for the specific questions. And what tools are included, so which we can see here. Okay, yeah, this is also does not specify any tools here. So now, for example, you are asking for any some troubleshooting. So that particular word, what you do, or you can get that retriever type to retrieve these documents as a 1, 2, 3. We can call as a chunks, and it will pass us to the LLMs. So even if you wanted to validate your chunks, like in whether the right chunks are coming or not, where this is the how the troubleshooting you can do that, taking of some small piece, and you can set your you can hit your retrievers, and you can validate your chunks. Okay, and this is a semantic similarity score also. So how confident this chunks here, you can say that for the particular user query. 57, 59, which is coming, which is very less. That means like in 0 to 1, that means the 1 is the highest, the chunks which are matching. The lesser the lower the score, we can say that the chunks are not up to the user requested query. Okay, this is the RAG based pipeline which I wanted to show them you, integrating with the GPT-4 as a prompt template and retriever, and creating the knowledge based system. So yeah, now if anyone have any questions, please feel free to ask in the chat room, or like you can unmute, and will give you the as best as possible. Yeah. Okay. If we don't have any questions, then yeah, I see Lata.
I think Lata, like some of them have raised their hands, so they can go ahead with their
Yeah, yeah,
questions.
please. Yeah.
So Lata, you can go ahead with your question. Or else Ram, you can go ahead with your questions. Ramareddy Garu, you can
Yeah,
ask your
can you
question.
hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
hi.
Okay. What is the difference of using RAG-based applications and agentic RAG?
Yeah, it's a good question, Ramagaru. So agentic AI is something. So now here, the one knowledge base is simply the vector database. Now, for example, when we are giving the real time information. For example, we are giving the weather forecasting. Okay, so that means it has to connect it to the specific external tool as well. Okay, and it should give the real time the current temperature information. That's the beauty of the agentic AI. The agent, so one agent is we call as a master agent will decide the based on the user query which tool need to be activated. And so that tool is also will be decided by the smaller agent only, the sub agent, I can say that. So the sub agent will interact with the tool and it will get the relevant information, then it will send it to the user. So that's each agent will communicate it with the other agent. That's we call as a agentic AI. In RAG, simply it is in a simple the one agent which will be there where you will be having a one knowledge base and it will interact and it will give you the solution.
Thanks. And I have one more question.
Yeah.
What are the major issues that you're facing or you have seen in RAG applications or any agentic in general?
One the so, issues I will say that like in a we will like in a majorly we will ask some product name, so user will pass some product name and user will expect that information, so that the product name will not be presented in the chunks here. So now what is the plan? The action of plan is to add the introducing the chunk by updating the right product names, or else like in a giving the metadata, additional metadata information will be help us for the user to retrieve the proper chunks here. Along with that, there are a couple of like in a, when we are extracting the data. Okay, so we need to see that okay whether the extracted chunk which are the valuable chunks or not. So like in a sometime the chunks will break up like in between of the breakup itself, so you have to identify the right chunk size number like in a 6,000 or 5,000, 4,000, and you have to see that overlap window technique as well. This is another kind of the chunking strategy as well. And adding the right temperature, the parameters in the LLM side, like temperature is equal to zero by setting of that, and giving the right prompt template also, where you have to define the few shot example clearly and while you're taking of the decision. So how the system should be think, because can you, for example, there is a scenario I have already performed some certain test cases in the fan level of testing, but I'm still seeing the test case, the failures of the test cases. Now that means here that user is already have performed some actions. That means the system should intelligently think, okay, and it should not process the same steps which is performed by the user. It should be think on the other prospective side and it should give in the results. So these are the some challenges which we have faced, and along with the sometimes the chunking strategies also, taking of the instead of the recursive character splitter going with the markdown splitter. So these are few challenges I can say that.
Thank you, sir. That's very good. And one last question. Is there any differences loading or deploying locally or onto the cloud?
No, it's
Any
same,
issues
sir.
there?
I can say that it's the same, but only in the locally for as a developmental point of view, we do the testing. If everything will go smooth, then we deploy into the environment level, starting from the lower end to the higher environments. So it is the same thing, same code we do in the locally, but in the .env file is a one which will have the configuration. In the production level grade system, in the deployment level, all the credentials will be retrieved from the, if it is an Azure Key Vault or Amazon Secret Service Manager or Amazon Parameter Storage, we retrieve the values from there. But the rest everything is same.
But while testing locally, we'll be testing with only one or two scenarios. When we go to production, maybe
No, no,
hundreds
no.
of people
See,
will be testing.
as a testing, we will have is benchmarking questions. So whenever you push some changes, whenever you introduce some features, or whenever you are fixing some issues on the test tips which is identified, and you need to run all the benchmark questions. If the all the questions are which is satisfied, then you will push your changes. Otherwise, again the testing team or the user acceptance team will come back and they say that these questions are not working, because these are the major questions which everyone uses in the team. For example, that's we call as a golden samples also.
And scaling issues? Do we see any scaling issues?
Scaling issue, it's the taking off like if it is in a more number of users, there will be the
Yes.
EKS, the nodes will be taken up by auto load balancing techniques will be implemented. So if we see
No,
that,
no.
then
Sorry,
automatically the
sorry. I'm talking about scaling at the LLM level, because there are limit for the tokens. If 100 people are using at the same time, there'll be choke point at LLM level, right?
no. See, each request will process with the unique ID. Okay, so every we call as a session ID also. So
Okay.
the session ID will capture this information when we are processing this request. So it won't it will break the information. Even we will use the external databases. The users which is requested all the queries and the responses will be captured and which will stored into the external databases. So this the user the next time when the user comes and open the window, so we will be having a context what user is looking into the information if we use in the same chat window.
Like a long-term memory.
Yes, long-term memory, I can say that.
Thank you so
So
much. Yeah,
every
thank you.
conversation, they will be having a unique the ID.
Thank you so much. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all I have.
Next, Anil, you can go ahead with your question.
Hi, Andy.
Hey,
I'm
hi.
new to this all Gen AI and RAG and everything. So one question, when you say about the loading the documents on RAG, right?
Mhm.
So is there any way instead of loading the documents that I can directly connect to the database and retrieve the table, and from there
Okay.
I can go step two, step three, and step four.
No, even as a developer point of view, either
Hmm.
the team of your developer need to make a centralized system. If it is in a day two of every day to day of life of doing the same activity, then you can create some automation system. Simply, you can
Hmm.
pass the database name and the schema name or the table name, and you can
Okay.
give the list of column names or you can give the all the columns which are presented. You can retrieve the data and you can push it. So if not, okay, then where you
Hmm.
have to create our own custom functions to connecting these databases and reading the data and then pushing to the knowledge base.
Oh,
We have see
so we.
I'll tell you
Hmm.
there are a couple of situations when we started in this RAG pipeline.
Hmm.
So we creating started working with the custom functions and custom utilities function, and we have every time making the connection. Now we have created some automated tool. This will help us for the within the organization for every team with the different department. They can simply use their tool and they can connect it to the knowledge base and they can create by simply choosing of the buttons. Okay, so
Okay.
this intelligence will comes based upon the requirements, right? If every day it is a part
Hmm.
of our work, then we make them,
Hmm.
we try to see the more smoother way and more easier way.
So when you say automation, right? Automate, right? So what kind of tools you use? It's Python or it's any other
Python.
RPA tools or in Python? Okay. Okay.
Python we can use
So
because yeah,
mhm. So using
RPA
Python, you
we
connect
can,
to.
yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
sorry, yeah, please go ahead, please go ahead.
I mean, using Python code, automation code, you directly connect to the database, and whatever we know, based on the case, right? I mean, use case. So I have a
Yes.
very dynamic variables. So I just pull the dynamic variables into table, and
Mhm.
I from there I go step two and step three and so on.
Yes. So I'll make it a little simple. Okay. Consider
Mm-hmm.
within the in the organization, they have introduced the some web platform. Okay. So this web platform will allow us to create the knowledge base for the within the engineers here. So there will be the some steps which is already have predefined steps like creating the providing the database name as an input value. So you as a user we simply provide the database name, and then the moment you give the database name it will shows the list of tables. Okay, that's the web application tool because already it is connected with that particular database, right? So then you will
Right.
select the table name. As soon as you select the table, then if there is an hundreds of columns, then you will choose the specific columns which is required for your knowledge base creation, for example. Then you select as a checkbox kind of the selection mark, or it is in a kind of search which you already know the schema of the particular table. Then you will choose those specific columns. Then you simply you will click on the knowledge base creation. then the entire system will be automated here, right?
Okay, got
So
it.
the backend already the Python functionality already the some of the program which is already written, it will take these inputs and then it will process in the backend.
Okay. And one more question. I mean, you're talking about RPA. I was questioning about RPA because I'm RPA engineering.
RPA,
I'm
yes,
trying
yes.
to connect this RPA and Gen AI. See how it gonna be. I mean, you're saying something about RPA and I stopped it. Can you
Mhm.
continue?
I'll tell you. So here RPA is something the same task which we perform in every day. We do from
Right.
the RPA side, UI path or automation anywhere or Blue Prism. These are the popular
Right.
tool which you know that because I work for very less time, but just I'm telling you. So the
Right. Yeah.
major difference with the RP and the automation of the agentic means, see, automation is something. Now when the systems like any we have to introduce this some new functionality. Okay, now instead of developer to go and do the some functional testing or some kind of manually running the steps here, so if the RPA will be introduced here, what it do? RPA will connect it to the some kind of the chatbot, like because in the UI path you can open your website and you can give that URL and you can select that, and these are the
Right.
questions which you can feed it and it will select it, and along with that it will capture the answer also. Then it will store the system. Then this is the level one which we can if we can keep it. Then the level two will be the evaluation part. This is also we can do that because the system will go to the database, it will open up and it will read the specific the output which was processed in the recently. Then we have the another tool like it will go and it will click that tool and it will process all these inputs and it will get the some accuracy. This is something automation, right? This is will make
Right.
us to the smoother. Okay,
Okay.
agentic AI is something which will connect and it will intelligently it will behave here and it will take up the decision by themselves. Okay, this is the question which I'm seeing. Okay, what will be the ideal response? I can do that. But in RPA side, it won't work. You have given
Right.
set of inputs. If that path, if the those paths are break, then entire system will collapse. Right?
Right.
This is
Right.
the
Right.
just difference I want to say.
Uh,
Yeah,
got it.
you can
Thank
do
you.
that definitely. RPA too. I have seen many colleagues also who are from the working more than
Mm.
12 to 15 years into the RPA industry and then
Yeah, I'm
move.
just trying to understand how to connect this RPA and Gen AI. I mean,
Yeah, this is use cases need to
yeah.
identify. We cannot generate
Right.
autogenic like in the bot system, but with this
Mm.
bot systems, how you can connect it and how you can retrieve the answers, and the same
Mhm.
way the kind of the user which is performing those kind of operations, you can make it as an automated way.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Suresh, you can go ahead.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
Suresh. Go ahead.
Hi, Venkatesh. Thank you so much for the session, first of all. And um, this is the first session I'm just trying to attend today. So it looks like you used heavily the Python scripting, right? I have one basic question, like, what is the expectation? Like, should be like basic level, or mid level, or advanced level? We need to learn the Python before we
Basic
jump to
level,
the AI.
if we have a Python, that would be sufficient. See how to install, how to import, and how to call the tools. Okay, it's all about like any the basics knowledges will be sufficient. When we able to run this with the raw piece of code, then you will focus on how we could be organized in a better way. And even we can think of that if it is in a single question which I am doing, what if case if there is a multiple questions which I wanted to process at a time. Okay, that's where you
Okay,
learn the for loops or like while loops,
okay,
and it will
okay,
come up
looping.
with
Okay.
different ways. I'm saying just saying because,
Mhm.
but at least we need to know that okay, if this is a program, okay, this is a Python. If I wanted to call, how I need to be called? What are the
Oh, yeah.
necessary, the models I require? That's all. I can say
Okay,
that the
okay.
beginner understanding of the Python that will be sufficient if the people are already in the different language. It is a sim. The it is not that as tough. I can say that.
Okay, because I was wondering, like, the reason is usually we use the prompts to generate the required steps or the loops kind of the stuff, right? So using the
Prompts
GPT.
is very
So
good, but
okay,
if you won't go through the code, then it will keep you in the
yeah,
completely loop only until we get
okay,
that.
okay,
Because
okay.
I
That
seen
makes sense.
from 12 to 13 years. So I know there is the good way and bad way, both is there, but how we are
Yeah.
thinking of the solution is very important.
Yeah, we need to find the root cause, and any
Yes,
kind of debugging will be difficult if you use prompt always. Okay, that makes sense.
true.
And one more thing, I'm just trying to understand here today the high level session. So you gave the question with some kind of 16 types of documents, and then trying to create the mm, information through the RAG model, and then sending to the LLM to give the generative output. Is that my understanding correct, or
Yeah,
what
it's in a
exactly is the
single
today's topic?
document here. In the single document, we are making as a 16 chunks. That is means in a single document, in the single PDF document, we are trying. We have taken off 16 pages, 16 kind of the paragraphs. I can say that. Okay. So the paragraph will be multiple pages, like in 8 pages or 10 pages. Some pages which does not have information also. So overall, if I talk about entire document, which is having 16 paragraphs only. So there we have used the retriever. First, we created the knowledge base to store there, because when the user requests a query, we are not we wanted to respond from that knowledge base only, not from the generic way. That's the primary goal. Because if we go with the generic way, if we talk about the audio, and so it will give in the different domain information as a generic information. If we're talking about the semiconductor base, then I'm looking for the audio components, why it will be used for here. Okay, that's where the retriever and the part of generative. So enter 16 chunks which cannot read the user, right? So we want it to be a final crispy, or the final response should be provided. So audio means this is the component, this is which will be used. So that's all. 2 to 3 lines of answer will be sufficient for user to understand. That's where we use the generator here.
Okay, it will load the data to the database, vector database, and then from there it
Yes.
will come. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
There is
Yeah,
lot, but because of
yeah,
the thing,
yeah, high
definitely in
level. Yeah.
upcoming sessions we will teach you how to update your in knowledge base in a day to day, because it will be outdated also. What if case? Then how we are going to handle? There are a lot of things which is there. Definitely, we'll give you up in the upcoming sessions.
Okay, so because LLM won't understand like a thousand pages of document, that's why you have to create the chunks of document and send to the vector database, like
Not LLM.
giving
LLM is having a token limit also, context limit also.
a
Okay.
context limit. Okay, okay.
Yeah, because that's where we are doing of this chunking. So we can give a limited context, which is a the right context to the LLM to take up the decision.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, thank you, Venkatesh. Thank you
Thanks,
so much.
Suresh.
Yeah, that helps me a lot.
Next, Dharmendra, you can go ahead with your question.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Venkatesh. I think class was really nice. I just have some questions, like, these two questions. I was just trying to understand, like, we are right now doing lots of examples, which is very, lower level of, understanding, and then going to the, giving the use cases of a small use cases. So automating some of the emails, these, that, and all. But if you want to do something like, what are the real enterprise level agentic AI use case? So is there anybody who's using right now in the real enterprise level as a
Yeah,
agent?
that's today's solution which I shown you. That it is an enterprise level the use case only. So this is one use case I've taken. But if you consider, there is a spider is a bot system which you have.
I mean the enterprise level, in a sense, like they are able to do the real business and generate the revenue.
Yes,
Like
yes, yes, that's true.
let's give me example. Suppose if you have a banking, right? You create a banking application, and that everybody is using that application, and because of the users of that, because it interacting and people are getting the business and the revenue is getting generated. So that kind of use cases agentic AI is giving a real scenario.
I will give you one such use cases. Maybe you can type in the team dynamic data extraction service also. So that is a NowX agents. Okay, that is a one of the one which we have developed. So which is utilizing by the various healthcare industries also, where they are pulling up various healthcare information entities. I can say that. So
Okay.
it successfully, I can say that it's captured almost of 15 millions of revenue from the last 1 year, and still there are a few of the clients also which is acquiring by the team. So I can probably say that that is the one tool which is generating the revenue as well. There are a couple of other tools also
You are
which is
giving the
helping
information of the uh, consumers, right? Or
consumers.
help.
Yeah, but I cannot relieve those the names and
No, no,
everything.
no, I
But
got
there are,
it. I got it. I'm just want to, but that is a HIPAA, I know that. But I
Mhm.
just want to understand what you will do because that is anyway you can get that information from your queries on anything, right?
Mhm.
So
No,
what, how?
you imagine that you have developed a one tool. Okay, if we talk about one system itself, like in the banking side, okay, there's check process. You see, earlier if we go for some 10 years ago, so to
Mhm.
process for the check, at least it take for you to 2 to 3 days, right? Now, if you see, imagine you drop the check. Okay, there is no
Mhm.
manual verification. Enter the system will be verifies here, and it will process the checks here. Now imagine for this, there is hundreds of resources who are sitting into the company. Okay, now the entire AI system is acquired and where it is handling all this the day-to-day work activities and taking of the
That
decision.
check system, because I have worked specifically on the check payment system. So,
Mm-hmm.
and that was the people they go to the big malls, big stores. Suppose they want
Mm-hmm.
to pay from the check, right?
Mm-hmm.
Physical checks.
Yeah.
So how that happens, right?
If you
That is called
see,
something called lockbox.
there are
So
there are the ways actually. Maybe it is not right in the
so
platform to discuss here,
sorry,
but we
what
can
is
have.
this?
There is a couple of solutions which I worked with the American
So
banking as well.
but screens like after the mobile apps came, we are able to do everything from home. Just scan the check, upload it, it went and deposit, withdraw, whatever you want to do. All deposits are happening, right? So that was already there. So you are saying check processing of what? This one just submitting a check and it is processed.
It's not only the check, okay, because how this the system will identify. That's
Sorry,
where we're
like
putting
I
the.
don't want to, I want to
That's okay.
understand the
Okay,
real
I
scenario.
mean, then
But
I
we
think
can
there's
discuss later also. This is not maybe not the right forum, but
yeah,
maybe.
yeah, we can have some other technical sessions, which definitely I'll help you on to that, because otherwise we cannot run the business any organization, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah, that's
selling
true.
of
That's
that,
true.
because
That.
there is a name there. That's why the people are doing
And
the marketing for their
second
agent.
question was, second question
Yeah.
was in mind. Like
Mhm.
Python is one which we are using on the day to day right now. But
Yes,
what I heard, one of data processing, one of the my colleague, not colleague, friends, he is in the data side only. They are doing all analytics part. When they went to the enterprise level application, they were not able to sustain with the Python. They have to switch to the Java. So what was why something anything you see? Is there anything like that?
I don't see actually, because I worked with the two different organizations, like with the parallelly. So
Mhm.
I'm kind of a solution
Why?
provider to the organization. So I don't see that and that kind of the breaking into the enterprise level, because I'm working with the pharmacovigilance and the semiconductor industry. So I don't
Okay.
see that. Maybe there is an
Okay,
other
but I don't know
challenges.
why they found that difficulty. They're not able to run their models, and then they have to use Java for that for better performance. So,
Might be
I mean,
we
that
need
was one
to.
question. That's what I was trying to understand. Maybe I will dig into that more.
Yeah,
But I thought, let me ask you, maybe you have some kind of info on
yeah,
that.
yeah. No, no, no. That is as of now I did not see any challenges as that.
Okay, okay, okay,
Mm.
sure.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. That's what
Yeah,
only
since
questions
I
I had.
think it's been almost 2.5 hours, so I'll be wrapping up the session. So if any questions have, please feel free to coordinate with the team, so they will help you on that. Yes.
Sure, sure.
Kodan,
Uh,
sir.
yeah, yeah, sir, I'm here. So I'll take the general questions
Yeah,
about
please
the
take
class
up
and everything.
after.
You
Yeah.
can wrap up for today. Yeah, thank you so much for the session.
Thank you so much,
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah, if anyone has any questions regarding the next batch or the enrollment thing, you can feel free to post them in the chat. Our team will help you out. So we are starting the new batch from May second week, from May 15th onwards. Try to register with the given link. I will give you all the course content and related information to your email and WhatsApp. So we can discuss offline everything about the course content and everything. If you have any queries, feel free to reach us offline. So our team is already posting them. So we'll be able to like convey all the information clearly in one-on-one calls. or one-on-one sessions.
Uh, Hello.
Yeah, Ram. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Basically, I have a very rudimentary question in the sense
Mhm.
like so far I've been using this LLMs for generalist purpose, right? Just doing the prompt and getting the output. But then after attending the course, getting into sort of RAGs and transformers and sort of stuff, it
Mhm.
it is quite interesting. And also, I would like to know from the basic tenets of the AI. So you guys will keep moving from the basics to the next level because some people are talking about the Python, right? And
Yeah.
also I saw some of the course module which includes
Mhm.
Python as well. So
Mhm.
that will all be taught within the 14 weeks of
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so
So
we'll teach everything like, from Python foundations and what are the libraries required for the generative AI. And
okay.
we also have the basic foundation classes of Python from the previous batch. So
Uh-huh.
we'll give you all the recordings. Like we also we teach almost five batches till now. So
Mm-hmm.
you'll get access to all the recordings.
Mm-hmm.
There you can refer the Python classes or whatever the classes you want to, and
Okay.
we'll guide you on the foundation classes from the new batch as well, right from the beginning with the Python and machine learning, deep learning, and everything.
Okay, so which means the prerequisite for this course, sort of, we need to get into the Python coding as well, at least the
Yeah,
basic part of it, right? But
exactly. Yeah, at least. Yeah.
just help me
Mm-hmm.
to understand. I mean, the vibe coding is already taken over, and the basics
Mm-hmm.
is almost done. I mean, if we
Mm-hmm.
take the Visual Studio or Kotlin or whatsoever,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can just give a prompt and then it just constructs everything. And
Yeah,
then, if there are issues, I say, go, please fix it. It just goes again and fix it, right? But I'm sure,
exactly.
yes, to the enterprise level, the vibe coding might not be
Yeah,
working.
you need to know
Yeah.
the basic understanding or the flow, how it works. You don't have
Yeah.
to write anything manually, or you
Okay.
don't have to fix anything manually. But
Okay.
whatever the LLM or AI is writing, you need to be able to debug it or understand the code or what are the flow, how it is going exactly. So that
Okay.
is enough. So you'll get the foundation or basic understanding of the code flow
Okay.
with these sessions. So definitely we can help you out with that one.
Wonderful. I mean, my final question will be on the GitHub part of it, where you've been throwing about 10 to 20 different projects. So all
Uh,
this will be done using the Python coding, or it's done using the Vibe, or how is that?
everything like it's kind of
It's a combination of both.
it's a combination of both. Like we don't
Okay.
manually give all the Python code, but we'll
Okay.
give you the guidance on how to implement them using the vibe coding or the
Okay.
copilots. So
Okay.
everything is like included there.
I see. Okay, and finally is I mean I know obviously if we get into Claude we need to pay certain this thing. So will your package include that as well, or as we go along we need to get that from ourselves?
For the subscription part you are talking about.
Exactly, that's right. Yeah, the
Yeah,
codex, the
subscription
code.
part. Yeah, yeah. So to code, yeah, that you need to have it to yourself. Anything
Okay,
like you have the Claude, that should be enough for now. At least for
Claude.
since starting from the beginning, Claude should be good. So
Okay.
once you go in depth about the course, then you'll understand what all are required for the courses or the projects.
I see. But for the initial, the first part of it, first two parts of it, I can go with the free this thing, right? Then I can understand, and then based on the inputs that I
Yeah.
receive, I can go for the paid ones, right?
Exactly. Based on your requirement, you can move on to the paid version. So it
Okay,
is like it depends on how you are giving the projects or how you are implementing them. So initially, you can start with the free trial, then you move on to the paid version. It is about like $20 per month. So
I know.
definitely, it
Yeah.
should be helpful for you.
Okay. I would appreciate if someone call me a senior person.
Sure.
That will be really good. I'll
Sure,
appreciate.
definitely. We'll reach
Yeah.
out to you offline. Like, feel
Sure.
free to enroll in the link.
Yeah.
So one of our
I'm
teammate
done.
will go
Yeah.
through all the information
Sure.
in detail.
Yeah. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Ram.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. And also, if you have any questions, feel free to post them in the chat or raise your hands. Otherwise, we can drop off in 2 more minutes.
Hi.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
Suresh.
yeah, one quick question actually. I mean, I
Mhm.
thought of asking. So in general, right? So I am a Java and Java JTE and C Sharp like services based developer from last 25 years. But
Mhm.
when you coming to the AI world, right? So the roles I see like product support or AI generative developer. So what kind of roles will be there in general? Like I just wanted to have a quick chart on the high level. So
Uh-huh.
in
So,
the real time jobs, right? The positions basically where if you go to if you want to apply for some new jobs like that.
uh-huh. So yeah, like a lot of AI engineer roles, AI developer roles with the AI ML combination roles, and also like a lot of AI product management roles is also evolving right now. So
Uh,
these roles, yeah.
go ahead, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. For these roles, like for you can also with the experience that you have, I think you can go with the once you have the understanding about the AI workflow and everything, you can go for the AI architect roles as well. So these are like right now they are booming in the market, and I could see a lot of openings. And also like recently, some of our students they have placed in AI developer, AI engineer roles, so definitely with the experience, I think yeah,
What is the
that should.
difference between AI engineer versus developer? Example. I'm just trying to understand like concept before we dig into that, like which one I should focus on because I feel like I would have gone for the administration or
Mhm.
DBA role, such kind of stuff before I jump into Java JTE like 20 years ago. But then today, every day we have to learn new concept in the Java world, basically, which I just wanted to stick to as one for next 10 years at least. So that's what I'm looking at.
Got it. So it's like, like based on because you're already in the Java, so I could see a lot of AI software engineer roles that are coming up. I think there are some of the job responsibilities that I would see in the JDs or job description is like with the Java or the software engineer experience, if you have touch base with the AI, with the LLMs or RAG architecture and everything. I think for you, I would suggest AI software engineer roles. And with the previous question that you have asked, like AI engineers or AI developers difference, like AI developers, like it's like, building and implementing the models and applications right from the beginning. Like they train or they fine tune and deploy the machine learning models. When it comes to the engineer roles, like they design the AI systems and also like, they help in handling the deployment and monitoring or infrastructure part. And for the management side, a lot of AI product management roles are evolving right now.
Uh, okay, so it's like architect
Exactly.
versus
Architect
okay.
versus product management or senior program managers, AI program managers. These roles have been we could see a lot of openings for these roles.
Uh, do we have any kind of administration side, basically AI administration administrator, something? For example, if we take a AWS, something like architect or administrator like that, right? So very similar
Uh-huh.
AI administrators. I mean,
So I think there are some AI, like I said, AI project administrator, or some of the companies are looking for governance and compliance officer in regard to AI. So, and also depends like AI operations manager or these roles, definitely, I think that should help you out. If you like, if you can reach us online, we'll give you all the playbook
yeah,
or we'll
I'm
have
interested
some of the
actually. I mean,
document. Yeah,
uh,
we can provide you the document. We have some of the document already been given with the different roles, with the different, different background you are coming from, or what kind of roles you can apply for. Definitely, we'll be happy to give you that information to you.
Uh, Okay, okay. Thank you so much. One final question, actually. So,
Mhm.
are we going to use in this part of the training, like, are we going to be involving in Azure as well, like along with AI Azure and any kind of AWS concepts along with
Yeah, yeah,
this? Or
definitely. Like we have designed like Google Vertex AI and also Amazon Bedrock and Azure OpenAI classes. We have designed those classes as well. Definitely we'll cover those, how you can build the agents there, and also like how you can host the agents or deploy them over the different cloud platforms. So we have covered all the information in the course content. So I think you'll
Okay.
get a better idea over there.
Okay, okay. And yeah, because the reason I'm asking is like I work for an insurance company, like services based mostly. Like our applications will be in the cloud basically, and we need to integrate a lot of APIs like incoming and outgoing.
Yeah. Hmm.
So such kind of like cloud AWS and all those combinations, mix and match of combinations. So that is why I just wanted to
Yeah, we
be.
have a cloud like some of them already, like senior AI engineers are working on cloud. Meghana, one of our mentor, is working on Vertex AI. She hosts some of the classes, and we also have some of classes on Azure OpenAI. Definitely, I think that should help you out. We'll
Okay,
try to like schedule the call with them, or you can discuss with them offline so that you'll get better idea what you're looking for exactly.
okay, sounds good. Okay, thank you so much. Thanks for
Thank
your
you,
time.
Sudhir.
Yeah, it was a nice
Yeah,
session. Yeah, thank you.
yeah. Thank you. I think Surendra, you can go ahead with your question. Surendra, you raised your hand. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Meanwhile, everyone try to like fill out the information in the registration form, or if you have any questions, post them in the chat, or we can just drop off in next few seconds. So yeah, we are happy to help you out if you have any questions.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's my the network issue. So, yeah,
Okay.
am I?
Yeah. Yeah, you can go ahead.
Yeah. The question is right now you mentioned so many different course categories like as
Hmm.
part of the AI, this course, like
Yeah.
AI and ML and NLP and then even Azure side deployment and vector DB
Hmm.
related. Are
Hmm.
you going to cover all the aspects in this course?
Yeah, we'll cover like, in the 14 weeks course plan, we'll cover everything. It can go
Mhm.
beyond sometimes with the given timeline, with the given long weekends or any holidays. It can go beyond the 14 weeks as well sometimes.
Okay.
Definitely. We already have the recorded sessions on this one, on this particular topics as well. We'll first give you the recorded sessions, then we'll teach everything from beginning to end in the live classes as well, so that you'll get more understanding about the topics. And also simultaneously, if you are interested, then definitely we'll give all the project access. So you'll get a better idea how to implement the project, start from the beginning and everything. So that should help you out.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, and yeah, is this a course, continuous course, or is it kind of a weekend batches or weekly, twice or thrice a class?
We conduct from weekly 5 days from
Oh,
Wednesday to Sunday. Like when in the weekends, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we conduct at 9 p.m. EST to 10 p.m. EST for 1 hour. And in the weekend, and the Saturday and Sunday, in the morning, 10 a.m. EST to 12 p.m. EST. So 5 days a week, approximately 6 to 7 hours in a week we conduct.
okay. Yeah, got you.
Yeah. Yeah. If you have any questions, just like we posted our WhatsApp number, you can feel free to ping us offline. Definitely, we'll help
Yeah,
you
sure.
out.
Just now I joined the WhatsApp call, WhatsApp
Got it.
meeting.
Okay.
Definitely, I'll post my question.
Sure, definitely. Yeah. Thank you, Surendra.
Yeah, thank you.
I see there are no more questions. I think we can drop off for today. Thank you everyone for attending today's session. We have the one more bootcamp session tomorrow at the same time, 10 a.m. EST to 12 p.m. EST. You'll get Zoom link to your emails. So try to join on time. So definitely you'll get more information in the tomorrow's session. And also I thank my team, KKR Gen AI team, for supporting throughout the meeting. So yeah, thank you everyone, and have a rest of the have a good weekend. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.